Hey loves, what's up? It's Jazz and welcome home. Today I want to talk to you all about co-parenting, and I'm really hoping my arm don't give out while we talk because I'm holding the camera. Welcome to the channel. If you're new, welcome and welcome home. I just want to pop in and talk about co-parenting for a second, and I wanted to give you guys kind of like the run through of what I do, how I make it work, and I guess a couple of tips along the way, because co-parenting, it can be very tedious, but it don't have to be, like it don't have to be something that's long, drug out, and everybody in the world in your business, because it's got just out of hand type of thing. So I guess I'll go ahead and get into the tips first, and then we'll get into what works for me. Okay, what works for me. I only have two tips though. The first tip I would say is to go ahead and take your mind off of the relationship and the marriage, especially if you know that you guys are breaking up, you're headed for a divorce. Go ahead and just get your mind completely off of all of that. Okay, and you got to switch gears and go ahead and get yourself prepared to co-parent. And co-parenting requires communication, which would be my second tip. Communication is a must. You have to be able to communicate in some kind of way, whether it's text messages, phone calls, emails, possibly through family. There still has to be some sort of communication so that the both of you can successfully be in your child's or children's life. Okay. Yeah, so that's pretty much what I got as far as the tips, to just take your mind off what the relationship coulda, shoulda, woulda been, because if it was going to be, it would be. Okay, so now that that relationship is over, that divorce is final, it's time to get on a straight and narrow path with God. Because for me, I couldn't do life without God. That's just what works for me. But it's time to get on a straight and narrow slate and say, I got this. This is going to be hard. This is going to be tough. I'm scared out of my mind, or whatever it is, or however you're feeling. But you got this. And you got to know, I'm sorry if the lighting is changing. I'm using natural light. But you got to know that you got this. And I know it's easier said than done. I know it sounds cliche, but you got this. You got this, okay? And women, and I'm specifically talking to my women, we are emotional. And it's not anything wrong with that. That's how we're set up. We're emotional, okay? And I feel like oftentimes we can't give a man our feminine energy, be submissive and all of that, because of our upbringing and certain things we go through with guys, whether it comes from your father, because we all know that your father is your first love when it comes to men. He's the man that sets the bar on how guys should treat you and so forth. So if you don't have that, like I didn't have that growing up. My relationship with my father is better now, but growing up, he was in the military. He was gone. So, or traveling. So, it's hard to give off that feminine energy and not to be so caught up in our emotions when we're dealing with and we're being raised to be wives, be girlfriends, take care of the home, and know where things are 100% of the time. Okay. So I get it. You know what I mean? I truly get it. But what works for me, and you guys know that I'm a single mom of 3, 11, 7, and 10 months. If you're new, hey. I do have 3 kids, and I'm a single mom of 3, okay? And all of my kids are 6 years apart. If you want to know how I became a single mom, I'll link that video in the description of the video. If you want to know my thoughts on Roe v. Wade, which thank you guys so much for getting that video to almost 2,000 views, okay? I never did elaborate on that video, and I'll go ahead and say that real quickly, that I gave my experience on when I was faced with a decision to have an abortion. And I just want to say that, until you stand with the woman and her choice to terminate her pregnancy, you would never understand what that is like, okay? But I can't go heavy into that topic because that's not what this video is about. So we're going to shift gears and get back to co-parenting. So what works for me is having a direct line of communication with all three of my baby fathers. It's not something that I'm proud of. It's not something that I wanted to do. It's not something that I woke up and said, hey, go have 3 kids by 3 different guys. Woo-hoo, do. That's not what this was like, you know? And I talked to you guys about that in the Becoming a Single Mom story, as well as the Roe v. Wade video. And I was very transparent about the things that I said and did. And I was open about what their fathers also said and did. And I just kept it super transparent. Y'all all up in my business. But I know that that's helping someone. I hope that today this is helping someone. So the way that I co-parent really quickly is that I keep an open line of communication. And if at any point one of their fathers choose not to communicate with me, text, call, visiting, or whatever, that's their poor choice, not mine. I can only do what Jasmine can do. I can only walk in my shoes as a mother. I am not a father. I am not a man. And I don't want to be. And I'm not going to try to fill somebody else's shoes that God didn't give me, you know? Like, that's like squeezing in a shoe that's too tight. It don't fit. So I just keep an open line of communication. They know they have a child just like I do. So I don't have to do the extra text, the extra calls. Well, he need this or she need this. No. They reach out to me. If I do reach out to them, it's very rare. But they reaching out to me. And it's clear. Call, text, come visit. Or they come downstairs to you. However we, do what we need to do. But it's an open, direct line of communication. There is no arguing, cursing, fussing, none of that, because kids are our future. They are going through the same things that we're going through, and their mental health matters as well. The next thing that I do is I congratulate myself. I tell myself, you're doing a damn good job. Are there times where I'm not so proud of certain decisions? Of course. Like if I had to work longer hours to make ends meet, I'm running late on the bill or whatever's going on, but I do what I need to do because I'm the primary parent here. And I just look at it like this, like I don't ask for handouts, and I don't want handouts, and I don't want no one feeling sorry for me and the fact that I'm a single parent. I don't feel like I'm dealing with trauma and craziness and wildness because I chose my kids at the end of the day. I chose them over relationships that serve me no purpose. I chose them over an engagement that wasn't going to lead to marriage, that was going to end up in divorce court. I chose my children, you know what I'm saying? So when society, or even doing this video today, I feel the pressure a little bit, I can rest and know that I'm making a good decision. I'm here and I'm being proactive. I'm standing with purpose, and I thank God for his grace and his mercy, because I couldn't do it without him, whether I had kids or not. So I focus on what I do: work, further my education, make sure the kids are having their necessities, food, a roof over their head, not becoming a statistic, because a lot of people think that, oh, your child is growing up in a single parent home, they're going to be a statistic. Not mine. There go the graduation picture right there. Julian graduated, got on a whole cap and gown. Trey graduated, got on a whole cap and gown. And that's because of the kind of mother that I am. I pour love into my children, and I am raising them to be kind human beings. I'm not raising them to be a menace to society. We live in a very rough neighborhood, and guess what? My kids don't play in this area. I literally take them out to places and show them things. I remember when you all asked me, how did you get your children to like reading? That's because I was in college when I was pregnant, so I was reading. When they were born, I would literally take them to my bookstore at college, and they just love reading. But anyway, you always do what's in the best interest of yourself and your children. Choosing your child over a dead-end relationship, or a relationship that isn't going anywhere, that's a good thing, and I applaud and commend anyone that is doing that, including myself. The last thing that I want to say is co-parenting don't have to be like pulling teeth. Again, make your partner or previous partner who you have a child with aware of what you need, what you want, how things can be smoother, and make it happen. Check in with your kids and make sure that they're okay. I have to do that periodically with Trey. Julian is Zara can't talk, but I have to do that and just ask them, how are they feeling? Um, is there anything that I'm doing that bothers them? I always do my best to make sure that they're okay in every aspect. Again, got their necessities, their mental health is what it needs to be, and that we are, just living life. I never thought that I would be co-parenting, and especially to three different people, but I am. Things are what they are, and I make it work. Lastly, because we definitely need to touch on this, and that is child support. The way that I handle child support is I don't. What works for me is we have a savings account. Each one of their fathers put money in there when they get paid. End of story. That's it. If at any time the state has to tell you as an adult how to financially take care of your child, something isn't right. And I know me, I would rather have an open savings account rather than money being pulled out of my paycheck or different accounts on a regular basis, because we all know child support don't let up. If you start flipping burgers, they coming for you, and then your license gets suspended, and it's a whole thing. So I would rather have a savings account that the child can benefit from, of course, than going to court appearances and stuff like that. And I don't want that affecting me as a woman and as a mom. I got to take off work to go to court for them to grant me what, $300 or $400 in child support. And I don't say that like whatever, but I say that as in it's time consuming. And with it being COVID now and uncertain times, but what's for certain is the grace of God and Him sitting on that throne. But with it being how things are now, you're having to do court virtually. Like, for me, I just don't have that a lot of time. If you choose at any moment to step away from Julian, Zara, or Trey, you got to answer to God about that. That's all I got to say. And that's all I can think is that you got to answer to God about that. I'm not coming for you, your pockets, your mama pockets, your whoever. I'm not doing that. I'm a grown woman, and I get up, I do what I need to do for me and my children, and it's just that simple. It really is. It's just black and white. That's it. So even when it comes to me, wearing this ring that I have right here, a lot of people think that I'm married, but it's actually to keep away these scumbags. Okay, let me stay focused. Okay. I'm sorry. It is to really signify my promise to God and to wait on Him. I'm ready for a spouse. I'm not wanting to dibble and dab and meet the same old type of men. So that's why that's there. But anyway, that's my truth. That's my peace. That's how I handle co-parenting. Some of you guys have been asking me about budgeting and meal planning, and we'll get into that at a later time. But I wanted to come in and just talk to you all about co-parenting and making sure that you do it in the best interest of the child, which is the healthiest choice possible, or try to make the healthiest choices possible for your children. And don't be afraid to reach out to your community. All communities, to my knowledge, have a 211 number that you can call, and they can provide emergency. Now that's just too country. Emergency shelter and other resources, food and things like that. So don't be afraid to go and get the help that you need as well with your kids. Okay, they didn't ask to be here. They don't know what it is to live a good life, and it is vital that we as adults show them what that's like. Okay, so I hope that this helped you. I hope that you took away some key points. Know that it don't rain forever. There is eventually sunshine. And I tell y'all all the time, trouble don't last always, tough people do. And with this co-parenting thing, you got to have your headspace, your mind, and your heart, and your spirit, and everything just about that in a positive direction. And so you do whatever you need to do, except for something that'll, put you in jail or something. But you do what you need to do to make sure that you and those babies are okay, all right? I love y'all. I hope that y'all enjoyed this sit down. I'm going to go ahead and go have me a little me time while I got some time. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye, guys. Oh, and don't forget to head over to my community post. Follow me on Instagram. You can email me any single mom chats or anything else that you want to talk about. Nobody mentioned co-parenting, which I'm shocked, but I wanted to come in and talk about co-parenting because it can be very tedious, but it don't have to be, okay? Like I said, it's all about how you handle it, how you juggle it, how you set things up. I'm telling you, it could really be a smooth thing. And know your kids are not going to be a statistic, okay? We got this. Single mom and winning, okay? I love y'all, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.